We're going to correct 7 things that you were taught about ancient Egypt that are not true. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe so that I can continue to create more videos. Myth number 1. The pyramids were built by slaves. The long-standing image of slaves building the pyramids under harsh conditions is deeply rooted in our minds, but the truth is, we don't have a complete picture of how these ancient wonders were constructed. Was it a workforce of slaves or paid laborers, or perhaps a mix of both? The answer isn't clear-cut. While recent findings suggest the existence of worker villages and signs of a potentially organized and compensated workforce, these clues don't completely rule out the use of forced labor in some capacity. It's possible that a rotational labor system was in place, allowing workers to contribute to the pharaoh's grand designs before returning to their regular lives. This theory contrasts with the traditional narrative of slavery, but it doesn't entirely dismiss it either. We must acknowledge that our understanding of the past is constantly evolving with each new discovery. As such, we cannot say with absolute certainty that the pyramids were built without slave labor. What we do know is that the construction of the pyramids was an incredible feat of human engineering, one that may have involved diverse groups within ancient Egyptian society. The complete story of who built these monumental structures is still partly lost to history, leaving us to wonder and continue our search for answers. Myth number 2. We know how the Egyptians transported large stones. The mystery of how the ancient Egyptians transported massive stone blocks, some weighing several tons, to construct their monumental structures like the pyramids and temples continues to baffle historians and archaeologists. A common belief is that we have a clear understanding of these ancient logistics, including the use of boats to navigate the Nile with these colossal stones. However, this assumption overlooks a significant gap in our archaeological evidence. No boats have been discovered that were capable of carrying such immense loads. While depictions and models of smaller boats have been found in various tombs and sites, none of these could have supported the weight of the megaton granite blocks used in structures like the Great Pyramid. The engineering and logistical challenges of moving these stones from quarries, sometimes hundreds of miles away, without the boats or machinery that would be deemed necessary today, remain largely unresolved. Innovative theories have emerged, such as the use of a lubricated sled system to pull stones over land, or the creation of temporary canals to float them closer to construction sites. Yet, these theories, while plausible, lack concrete evidence, leaving a gap in our understanding of ancient Egyptian ingenuity. This absence of definitive proof on the transportation methods used for these massive stones challenges the narrative of certainty often portrayed. It underscores the remarkable achievements of ancient Egyptian civilization and the mysteries that still remain about their advanced engineering capabilities. Myth number 3. Aliens built the pyramids. No, the pyramids were not built by aliens. The reason that this has been popularized is because there are so many unanswered questions about the Egyptians and their technology that have yet to have been answered. We know far less about the Egyptians than most realize. The theory that aliens were responsible for the construction of the Egyptian pyramids is a captivating tale that has been popularized by certain fringe theorists and science fiction narratives. This speculation suggests that the architectural complexity and astronomical alignments of the pyramids could not have been achieved by ancient human societies without extraterrestrial intervention. However, this theory not only underestimates the ingenuity and resourcefulness of ancient builders, but also ignores the substantial archaeological evidence to the contrary. The pyramids, with their complex architecture and celestial alignments, are masterpieces that reflect the extraordinary capabilities of their human builders. The alien theory flourishes where our knowledge ends, but it overshadows the true extent of human innovation. Ancient peoples had the means to create these wonders on their own, and while we continue to learn and discover, it's important to credit their achievements to human endeavor. Every unanswered question about the pyramids is a testament to the lost knowledge and sophisticated society of ancient Egypt, rather than the evidence of extraterrestrial involvement. As we peel back the layers of history, the focus should remain on the remarkable human story that crafted these timeless monuments, not on science fiction explanations that distract from the awe-inspiring legacy of our ancestors. Myth number 4. The pyramid took 20 years to build. The assertion that the Great Pyramid of Giza was constructed in just 20 years is a figure that has been widely circulated, often cited to emphasize the efficiency and skill of the ancient Egyptians. This time frame supposedly comes from the Greek historian Herodotus, who wrote centuries after the pyramid was built, and whose accounts of Egyptian history are a mix of observation and hearsay. However, the reality is that we have no concrete evidence or records from the time of construction that definitively state how long it took to build the pyramid. Modern archaeology has not yet uncovered any definitive evidence, such as dated records or inscriptions, that could confirm the duration of the pyramid's construction. The 20-year timeline is based purely on speculation. These estimates also often overlook the extensive planning and preparation involved, including quarrying the stones, transporting them, and the precise alignment with astronomical points. Moreover, the construction of the pyramid was an enormous logistical endeavor, likely involving tens of thousands of workers, including skilled laborers, engineers, and architects. The infrastructure needed to support such a workforce, including their housing, food, and medical care, would itself be a massive undertaking. Given the lack of direct evidence, the 20-year construction period should be seen as a theoretical estimate rather than a confirmed fact. It is a testament to the pyramid's enduring mystery and the remarkable engineering capabilities of the ancient Egyptians that we still debate their methods and timelines today. Myth number 5. The pyramids were built with giant ramps. The theory that giant ramps were used to transport massive stone blocks up the sides of the pyramids is one of the most popular explanations for how these ancient structures were built. It's an idea that seems logical, given the need to elevate heavy stones to great heights. However, this theory is just one of several, and it lacks definitive archaeological evidence to support it as the sole or primary method employed by the ancient Egyptians. While remnants and traces of ramps have been discovered at various construction sites in Egypt, none have been found that definitively match the scale and design necessary to support the theory of giant ramps leading directly to the top of the pyramids. The logistical challenges of building such ramps, including the vast amount of materials required, the space needed to construct them, and the steep incline that would be necessary to reach the upper levels of the pyramids, raise questions about the feasibility of this method. Alternative theories have been proposed, including the use of internal ramps, zigzagging external ramps, and even lever systems, each with varying degrees of evidence and speculation. The internal ramp theory, for instance, suggests a spiraling ramp built within the pyramid itself, a concept supported by some architectural anomalies within the structures. The absence of conclusive evidence for giant ramps, along with the existence of these competing theories, underscores the complexity of the engineering feats achieved by the ancient Egyptians. The construction process of the ramps would have been as large, if not larger, of a construction process as building the pyramids themselves. Myth number 6. The Sphinx was built by the Egyptians. As we continue to study the Egyptian history, our previous theories and timelines continue to be challenged. Geologists have been studying the Sphinx and the patterns of weathering on its body, and the new scientific discoveries are pointing towards the Sphinx being much older than previously thought. They've found signs that the kind of erosion it has doesn't match up with the dry, sandy conditions we associate with Egypt since the time the Sphinx was supposedly built. Instead, the wear and tear look like they were caused by long periods of heavy rainfall, which hasn't been seen in Egypt for thousands of years. This could mean the Sphinx was around during a time when Egypt's climate was wetter, which would be long before the time of the pharaohs we know about. So while the traditional story is that the Sphinx was built by the ancient Egyptians we learn about in history books, these new geological findings hint that its story might begin much earlier than that. Furthermore, the oldest known Egyptian texts mentioning the Sphinx talk about the restoration of the Sphinx rather than the construction of it. It's an exciting possibility that could change our understanding of ancient history. Myth number 7. Egyptians built the pyramids using only primitive tools. The popular belief that the ancient Egyptians constructed the pyramids with nothing but basic copper tools is up for debate. Sure, the copper chisels and stone hammers commonly associated with the era would be considered primitive by today's standards, but the evidence carved into the very stones of the pyramids suggests a more complex scenario. Experts have found tool marks on the pyramid stones that don't quite match up with the capabilities of the copper tools we've discovered from that time. These marks imply the use of something more advanced, leading to speculation about the possibility of lost techniques or even unknown tools that have yet to be unearthed. The precision and efficiency required to shape the millions of blocks used in the pyramids are remarkable, and the surviving tool marks are a silent testament to the sophistication that we haven't fully understood. While no definitive evidence of these advanced tools has been found to date, the remaining marks are like a historical puzzle, waiting for us to piece together the true nature of the tools and techniques used. The ancient Egyptians were master engineers and builders, and it's possible that they had developed and used tools and methods that were advanced for their time but have not survived the eons for us to find. The narrative that they used only primitive tools is being chiseled away as new findings and theories come to light, suggesting that there's still much to learn about how these ancient people achieved such architectural feats.